It's that time again. That's right. Friday at 5. Let's clock out, get in that car, and get to going. I'm Bob the Cigar Guy, and you are watching I Got the Smokes Let's Ride podcast experience with me, BTCG, episode number 14. That's right. 14, man. We are off the clock. We are ready to get to life, get to living, and get back home. And how do we do that? We get in that car and we get away. Get away now. That's right. It is time to leave and become present in life. That's right. So do what you want. Live what you live. Be who you be, because can't nobody tell you what to do now, because the boss ain't in charge. You the boss. You in charge. I'm glad you're here, and I need to fire me up a cigar. What have I got? Oh, my goodness. I grabbed me one of these Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust. That's right, them good old people up there in New Hampshire. Dunbarton, New Hampshire, that is. I'm going to get me one of these aromatic number ones. I was digging around the humidor, and I saw it, and I said, oh, my, I haven't had me a Stillwell Star in a little bit, and I do love a Stillwell Star. I enjoy it. I do. I like it in the summertime and the wintertime. And the aromatic number one is my favorite. Bayou's close behind, because it's got that periquiness to it, that little sweetness, but that fruit cakiness that goes along with it. But these cigars just got a little bit of sweetness to them on the cap as well, and that just makes me want to smoke them in the summertime, smoke them in the wintertime, smoke them in the middle times, every other time there is. What are you smoking? I know you're probably not smoking right now driving home. What do you plan to smoke? What's your favorite smoke? What do you like to smoke? Leave me a comment. Tell me what your daily rotation is, weekly rotation is, monthly rotation is, the one cigar you can't live without. I would like to know. And I am toasting this up extremely, extremely well. If you ever met Steve Saka, great fella. Wise and wonderful. If you ever met Steve Saka and you asked him the question like I have, what would you, if you could give your people who smoke cigars, your cigars, one piece of advice or one rule, what would it be? Steve Saka says, you know what, it's none of my business, to be honest. Once you buy it, it's yours, and you do with it whatever you want to. But if I was going to give them one piece of advice, I would tell them to toast that cigar really, really well. Any cigar that you get, you spend a little extra time toasting it, because you can have a perfectly good cigar that you don't toast well, and it doesn't perform up to its potential. And you can get a cigar that's not the best in the world, and if you toast it well, sometimes you can assuage, good word, some of the problems. Right. If you buy Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust tobacco, cigars, you probably ain't going to have no problems at all, because quality control is on point. It is. Other companies and manufacturers are too. I just happened to be smoking Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust today, because I'm hankering for it. I just reached in my humidor and I just pulled it out. I got it. And speaking of humidors, we're going to talk about that. I got to tell you, I got a home run. I did. I got a crazy home run. But I hope your drive is going good. I hope you're at 10-2 or 9-3, depending on how old you are. One day, if I do this podcast long enough, when I say 10-2 or 9-3, nobody's going to understand, because there'll be no steering wheels in the car. You'll drive it by a video game remote controller, or by your mind, or by the chip they put behind your ear, or or the robot just takes over and takes you where you're supposed to go. I don't know. I mean, it's of course you're floating around like the Jetsons, and right. I mean, it's crazy. It's going to be crazy. I don't know how I'm going to survive that world. I'm digital, and I'm analog in a digital life. And as long as I got cigars and the ability to set fire, and I got flint sticks, if they ain't got no more matches or lighters anymore, I got me flint sticks, and I'll make a fire and I'll smoke a cigar. I may have a couple seeds laying around if they ban tobacco. I'll maybe plant my own things, and then I won't smoke good cigars. So I better enjoy the ones I'm smoking now, because if I have to smoke cigars I grow and I make and I ferment, boy howdy, It's going to be a rough day. It is. But yesterday wasn't a rough day. Now, you're getting this video a couple weeks late, so it's all right. Because I'm trying to get ahead for PCA. We got PCA coming, right? I want to make sure that I can try to get all the content out steady. And I got to do that ahead of time. This may drop PCA. This will be the second. No, it won't be PCA, but it'll be close. It'll be the first week. Let me shrink that down. It'll be the first week of April. So this is going to drop. Oh, it might drop the, no, 28th, the 4th. This will drop the 4th. So this will be the last one before PCA. So that'll be kind of interesting. We'll be going to PCA, me and Chief and the First Lady. Chief's going to fly down. Me and the First Lady are going to drive down because we got some stuff. I got some stuff I hope to get to do after PCA at a tobacco processing plant facility. And the First Lady and I, it's our anniversary. And we're going to drive home and stop in different small little towns on the way. Usually I am very, very, very orderly when it comes to travel. I want to know where we're going. I want to pay for all the hotels ahead of time. I want to make sure that we've got everything and route the maps, and I don't want any surprises. And First Lady, she's kind of open for surprises and allowing fate to just take us where it goes. And for whatever reason, I just said, you know what? We're going to go to PCA, and that's got to be organized. PCA is organized all to get out. Chief and the First Lady have done a great job. Rental cars had to be rented, and airplanes had to be paid for because Chief's flying, and or Airbnbs, and we got a real nice Airbnb, and I let them do all that stuff. I just kind of stay back and say, that ain't going to work. And then they just kind of pick out some great stuff. But we're going to just kind of go. When we leave New Orleans, driving back to South Carolina, we want to stop in this town, go see what the sights are in this town, and stay in a little hotel. We're just going to let things happen. One of the things that gives me the comfort to do that is because it's only, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 or 13 hours drive from New Orleans to my front door. I get me 3 or 4 rogue patches. I get me, or pouches. I get me 6 or 7 monster drinks. I can drive that with no problem. I won't blink. I don't do the monster drinks. Scientists have said that, studies have said that you take the monster drinks, it gets your insides all stimulated. It puts something in your receptors, but it's sneaky. Because when it puts something in your receptors, it coats that receptor so that you can't get as much the next time. So you have to drink more to achieve that first excitement of the body, and then you have to keep doing that. So if you drink monsters every day, monsters work less and less and less and less and less. And I don't much like the case of monsters, but when I need something to just kick me in the butt and make me move, I pull those out and fire it up. Or at some of the good gas stations, they got these little Kramer pods. They got these coffee pods called STOK with 2 dots over the O. I guess it's called an umlaut. So I guess it's called Stoke. I don't know. I'm not that country that does umlauts. I'm America. But I think it's Stoke. It might be stock. It might be cheese. I don't know. But they are literally, one of those little cups is a little shot of coffee. And it's thick like syrup. And so if I stop at that gas station, I will pour a dozen of those into my cup and then put coffee in there. So that's like the equivalent of about 14, because I make a big cup. It's like 14, 15 cups of coffee, right? It don't taste that great, but it'll get you moving, right? And sometimes I'll take a handful of them and I'll go up to the counter with them. And I'll tell the lady at the counter, the fellow at the counter, I say, hey, buddy, I just want to let you know, and if you need to charge me extra, I understand. When I made the coffee, I put about 12 of these in there, and I wanted to buy these 6 or 7. And they look at me like I'm crazy most of the time. I'm like, what? I said, yeah, I know I'm not supposed to. You're not putting these out there for somebody to make a full cup of coffee out of it. And I took advantage of them sitting out there, and so I want to make sure that I pay for it. Never have I had to pay for it. I would. I'd be happy to pay for it, but never have I had to pay for it. They say, don't worry about it. That's what it's there for. Most people don't even take them. They can't. They're scared of them, so just rotate stock that way. I said, all right, thank you very much. But at least I made my point of doing that. But, so we'll be driving. So if we don't find a place to stay, I'll just drive home. And don't have to go somewhere else because the first lady will be like, we said we was taking a trip. And you tripped straight home. And so we're going to have to go to Asheville, Hendersonville, Pigeon Forge, somewhere like that, and just go hang out for a day, which is fine because I love the first lady. I do. She's my bunches and bunches. So I call her my blessing. I call her the first lady. She is. And most times she's a good riding partner. Most times. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I get frustrated and irritated and uncomfortable and tired. And she likes to drive, and I like to play on my phone. It's true. But we'll be going and having a good time doing that. We're going to, when we're down in PCA, one of the gentlemen from the Dead Leaf Breakfast Club, Supremo Tobacco, is going to be rooming with us. Great friend of the channel, great friend of Chief, good friend of mine. Great, awesome feller. One of those people that I'm glad he's friends with my son, because I'm glad that my son has strong friends that have a moral compass around them. First lady has a friend coming from Florida, Miss Tracy, and they're not going to PCA. They're going to enjoy New Orleans. They're like, hey, you got a house. Why can't we'll just come and have a vacation off of it? I said, okay. So they're going to go do their thing. One of the deals that I have set with the first lady is that every day when I come back from PCA, on the counter or wherever, will be some boudin that came from a gas station, because New Orleans has some of the best gas station boudin you've ever had in your life. I love it. That beignets and Cafe de Monde and Cafe Beignet and whatever coffee they're supposed to have, hot chocolate, or yeah, it's good, but it's just donuts without a hole. Now, don't tell the first lady I said that, because she'll get mad. She had family down in New Orleans. She has the memories when Cafe de Monde used to see the water, and now it's got a big wall to stop the river from coming in or whatever. But she loves it. All I saw was little crummy tables. We had to stand around. People didn't wear deodorant, and seagull crap was everywhere. Freaking bird crap and birds everywhere. They'd steal your food. I was like, I'm done with this. This is one step up from homelessness. And speaking of that, New Orleans has a crazy homeless issue. People after so many hours at night, they just lay on the ground, right on the sidewalk. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Groups and groups of people. It's a whole different world down there. A whole new world. But we're not going to be experiencing a lot of that. Chief may venture out, but I've got a live show every night. Don't know what time it is. I'll figure it out when we get down there and I get more of the itinerary dialed in. But we're going to do 3 shows sponsored by Villiger Cigars. They've generously allowed us to do it again this year. We're looking forward to that, because I'm going to show you the stuff that's a PCA. Why is that important to you? Because it's a convention. It is a trade show, so you're not able to go. I know. I asked, but they said no, I couldn't take you. But it's a trade show. And so what trade shows do is, it's all the manufacturers trying to get the word out for their new cigars. They're trying to write paper, which means they're trying to get people, brick and mortars and online stores, to put in orders for the whole year. So what they'll do, you'll get them to write paper. They'll say, okay, they'll say, if you buy XYZ, we'll throw in XYZ and we'll cut the price by whatever percent, and we will drop a quarter of it to you now, a quarter of it to you in 3 months, another quarter in 3 months, and so it spreads out over the year, and so they make payments, and so literally that is a majority of business is done those 3-4 days, and so there's no time for consumers because consumers, they need to pay attention to consumers, but they need to shift gears. It's a different mindset. They're not trying to talk to everybody about selling them 50,000 cigars, 10,000 cigars. You know, they're talking about when a consumer comes up, you're lucky if you can buy a box or two, right? And so this is a whole different mindset. So they put up amazing booths. They usually have the owners or the face of the companies there. They have lots and lots of stuff going on. They'll do new releases, lots of new releases, and then they'll do media. Some companies do media better than others. They will have time slots to sit down and talk with media outlets. We get to go because we are classified, I know it's very loosely classified, as media. So we get to go and talk with these manufacturers, which, God dog, it is fantastic. I get to sit with some people that love what they do and they're masters at their craft and let them tell me about themselves and what's going on. And I get to shake their hands. I get to smoke their cigars right in front of them. That is freaking amazing. Now, we set up 1 hour interview slots. Let me see if I can pull it up. We have 1 hour interview slots. In those 1 hour interview slots, yeah, there it is. In those 1 hour interview slots, usually it's not a full hour, right? We got to get to and from. We have to, whatever. And they don't always, let's see if I can blow that up. They don't always use the hour. Some do, all right? Steve Saka, we're going to spend an hour chit-chatting every time. I hope it will not change. Because I just enjoy hanging out with Steve Saka. I consider him a true friend. We'll spend an hour doing that. I'm good on my list. We got Chief. Chief works on this. This is one of those things where Chief does his job, and this is his big push. I kind of give him a list of who I want to talk to. He has lists of who he thinks is good for the channel, and then he starts emailing and reaching out to these companies and filling up the gaps. It's very frustrating because I'm like, when are we going to fill these gaps? Because we got 20-something gaps, 26, 27 gaps. Over the 3 days. And you know, if you fill them up all too fast, then a major player is like, oh, I want a slot, and their slots don't fit. That happened last year with us in Foundation Cigars, Nick Melillo. We couldn't fill a spot because they didn't get back to us till late. But this year, it's our third year going, and it's getting a little better because manufacturers are now starting to say, oh, I know those guys. I saw them last year, and they look professional. They did a good job. I'm going to invest some time in them because they can either invest time in talking to a media outlet or they can invest time trying to sell cigars. And so they need to do both. But the media outlet, they don't want to waste their time on something that's not going to bear them fruit. So they want to know that people are going to have eyes on it. People are going to listen to what they say. People are going to make purchases possibly based upon the information they get from that media outlet. I like saying media outlet a whole lot more than I do like saying cigar personality. That just sounds, I don't know. And there's media outlets. Halfway's going to be there. Cigar Aficionado is going to be there. Cigar Snob is going to be there. So your paper companies, your magazines are going to be there. Your online presence of websites is going to be there. I bet Cigar Craig will be there. I know Cigar Coop will be there. I know Cigar Dojo will be there. Boston Jimmy probably will be there. And then there's some other people who do smaller magazines. They'll be there. Then there will be bloggers, people who live in the TikTok atmosphere, the Instagram atmosphere, the Facebook atmosphere, the YouTube atmosphere, and then there's Rumble and all your other stuff. Then you have your podcasters. You have a lot of different people. And there are some people, some media groups that really don't put the time in, or they're just there to beg for cigars. There are some who they'll be here a year, they'll be gone. A lot of them are that way because believe it or not, it's a lot of work. So, and those people make it harder for people like us because we're still a small channel in comparison to, you know, Cigar Coop, to Half Wheel, to Cigar Dojo, to even Cigar Craig. I mean, those are bigger, well known, done companies. And we're in South Carolina in the shed. I'm talking to my phone. So, who have we got right now? We're going to start off with J.C. Newman. That's going to be a great show. Drew Newman will probably be the lead interview, but Bobby and his brother will probably just kind of wander in. Last year, I think it was, they just kind of wandered in and sat down because they were tired and they thought we were just talking. I loved it. It was great. We had all three of them in there, and it was fantastic. I mean, it was, and actually, Drew Newman said it was one of his favorite interviews for the year. It's kind of neat to hear when manufacturers say, you know what, I'm really glad you're here because I like interviewing with you. I don't like interviewing with some other people. They just ask stupid questions, or they're just boring, or they're just whatever. I get it, but y'all are fun to hang out with, and we get that. And it goes vice versa because we have some companies that sometimes it makes it difficult to do interviews. But we got J.C. Newman. They got some new stuff coming up. We're looking forward to that. Then we have Adventura. Every year I get a sticker put on me. Hopefully we continue tradition. It's fun, fantastic. All three of them are fantastic, and I love the Adventura booth. It's simple, small, but it's cool. I love the Adventura cigars as well. Then we got the big booth. This booth is always huge, takes a ton of space. That's the Gurkha booth. That's right. We'll be hanging out with Steve Cook for a little bit. We did do Gurkha last year. We did the year before, but we're going to do it this year. Last year, they were so busy writing paper, and they had Mike Tyson in there with Tyson's new cigar. We didn't even try to get in there. They were so focused on Tyson and pushing that cigar, and I don't blame them. They had tickets for visitation for Tyson, so we just kind of backed out of that booth. Paustani, small company. Nice guy, nice story. I like the cigar. Steven loves the cigar. But we'll do that. Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust. That one's going to be the fun one. That one's going to be really nice. Steve always has great couches. I keep trying to steal extra cigars. This year he's got 4 add-ons plus a bunch of other little add-ons at his booth. I've already done the Salida Red. I love it. I can't wait to get the year of the Duque and the other stuff that he's coming out with. I'm really looking forward to it. I just like spending time with him. Then that's what we have for Saturday. We have 3 open spots right now. Chief will fill those between now and then. Then Sunday, we're going to start off with Foundation. We got them early. We got them fast. And that was the time they picked. So I get to sit with Nick Malilla, which is great. Great fella. Fantastic. He was generally heartbroken that we didn't get to meet up last year. I was too. Then we're going to hang out at Zeno. And Zeno's going to be interesting. Zeno is Davidoff, right? But you got Law Ream. Being the tobacco cupcake that he is, the big yellow ball of sunshine, he is the Zeno brand manager, right? He goes around in his little yellow wagon, pulling his yellow trailer, spreading joy of Zeno tobacco through the world. And he's going to be there, and so we're going to interview him. But not only is he there, Jack Hires there with Camacho, and so we're going to meet up with Camacho and talk with them. And hey, there's other people like Tom that is just over in the Davidoff end, and we're going to get an interview with them. And I'm thinking, the way Chief said it, we're going to get probably 4 to 5 interviews from the Davidoff family, which will be interesting. We have an hour to get all that in, so we're going to be doing it shotgun style. Now, Chief, when he comes back, he does all the editing. It'll be up to him as to whether he puts that all as one compilation video or he's going to do individual interviews. After that is AJ Fernandez. I'm looking forward to that. Natura Cigar. Really neat cigar, really new company, a couple years old. West Tampa, that's going to be a great interview. He does a fantastic interview. We'll be hanging out in West Tampa. We've got 4 other slots. We haven't filled yet, but Chief will fill those. And so that's all for Sunday. Then Monday, the only one we have right now for Monday, because that's the day you really want to catch people. Because people don't hang out as much. You don't have most of the companies that are buying cigars have already done their cigar buying, and they usually bring their wives for a vacation. And that Monday they usually go do something else instead of going to PCA. So the numbers are less that day. That's when you catch your B-roll. That's when you catch the neatest thing I saw at PCA. That's when you catch pop-up interviews that you didn't have a chance to, and they're like, "Hey, why don't you come by the booth and we'll do a pop-up." And we've got 6 pop-ups right now. Michael Herklotz, Fiero Tigo, he's going to, he says, I don't have slots. Come by, let's fit something in. Who else was it? Artesano del Tobacco with the El Pulpo. And they said the same thing. And there's 4 or 5 other ones. And then we're wanting to try to hit Cigar, maybe Calibri, maybe Ellie Blue, maybe Lef and Lam, maybe S2 DuPont, maybe Jetline, like to hit Bovita, hit the accessories as well. There's a bunch of small boutique humidor and accessory companies I like to catch on top of all that. So we got a lot of stuff. On the bottom of the thing, Stephen, he did a great job on this. Companies without times, Artesano, Fiero Tigo, and Elite Blue. So those are ones we've already got commitments to stop by and see in betweens. We have in between times. We also have Drew Estate. I mean, our trip is traveled, sponsored by Drew Estate. So yes, we're going to have Drew Estate. And it's going to be different again this year. Last year I was interviewed by Jonathan Drew and Isola Woods, which is really weird. It was wonderful, but it was really weird. And this year is going to be different as well. And I'm kind of interested in seeing how this is going to play out. Drew Estate does not follow the rules. They make the rules and then they break the rules. And that's the way they do what they do. And that's why Drew Estate is Drew Estate. And that's why the subculture is the subculture. So that's what we got going on right now. I know there'll be more. It'll keep filling up. Chief will probably talk about it Thursday on Chief Talk. Let me shut that down. And a good time will be had by all, hopefully. Come on. There we go. There we go. Close that out. All right, let's close that out. All right, let's leave that up. So, told you I had a good day. And now today is Sunday. It is 6 o'clock in the morning, pretty much. 7 o'clock now. I got in here at 6 o'clock. Got started at 6:30ish. It's my day off. Had a day off yesterday. First lady just got back from her birthday trip to Alabama with the grandkids. She took 4 of the 5 grandkids and a good friend of hers named Sharon Jane. They went to Alabama and rented a house and just hung out with family and just let the kids be kids. And then she came home, was that Thursday night? Yeah. And then I was off Saturday, Sunday. And so yesterday we were talking. Well, Friday we were talking and she goes, so are we going to the Jockey Lots? Jockey Lots is our local flea market and I have to sneeze real soon. So when I sneeze, please excuse me. Here it comes. Maybe one more. Maybe. God dog it. Why during this hour? Got it. Why during this hour do I have to sneeze? So, the Jockey Lots is placed about 45 minutes away from us, and it is a huge, humongous flea market. And a lot of flea markets have turned into basically stores with no walls, a real cheap way to sell your cheap Chinese junk in the middle of the flea market, or your soaps, or your oils, or your knives, or your, it's basically just, or your phone cases. God, there's lots of phone cases, or your heat press T-shirts, or all that stuff. And it's more a business than it is a flea market. And then you have usually the tables outside, if your area is like mine, where there's some of that people who travel, they have travel trailers or rider trucks or whatever, and they go from flea market to flea market in a circuit, and they sell their stuff. And they usually buy a lot more of those lockers, storage lockers, or they buy pallets, or they buy auctions, or they do military auctions or construction auctions, and then they sell that stuff off that way. So that's a second level of people. And then there's the people, my people. They just got to pay rent, or they're tired of all the crap in the house, or they have a drug problem and they've got to sell everything they got so they can get their next fix. It's out there. You can tell too. And those people have stuff. Never know what they're going to get. You never know what they're going to have. And usually they're going to be good prices. You also have the antique guys who don't want to set up an antique shop or a coin shop or a militaria shop, and they've got their stuff out there, and they're trying to sell like they're in a freaking antique store. I forgot about those people. Those people get on my nerves. Because you're trying to sell a cast iron pan, freaking an old Griswold pan, but you're wanting $400 for it, and it's sitting here at the flea market on top of a Kmart quilt, a Walmart quilt. I mean, come on, right? Put some presentation to it. Go somewhere and sell it if you're going to sell it like that. Because you can go down the line to one of these people, my people, and they just set up, paid $8 for a table, parked the car there with the radio and eating some orange slices. They might have a Griswold pan their grandma had, and it might be $10. Seen it tons and tons of times. So I love the flea market. I do. We stop at Wally World in the morning. I get me a Diet Pepsi. First lady's got her coffee, or we'll fancy up. She'll stop at Starbucks and get a coffee. But I'll go to Walmart and get $100. I will. 3 20s, 2 10s, and 4 5s. Because you got to have your money right when you're at the flea market. You can't knock somebody down from $5 to $1 and ask them for change for a 20. That's disrespectful. So you got to have your proper change, right? You need to have it spaced in different spots. You need a $2 in one pocket, and $5 in another, and then $10 in the front of your wallet, and the big money in a different spot of your wallet. So no matter where you pull out, you know what money you got. And so you say, look, this is all I got right here. I didn't lie. I didn't say it's all I got. I said it's all I got right here. Do not judge me. You can judge me if you want to. But I'm really good at that. I'll get in there. I know the phrases. Oh, yeah. Well, what you see, what you give for it, that's the first thing you say. If you're from the South and you're in the South flea market, you got to talk like you're from the South. If you're in the North flea market, I don't even know if they have them. You'd probably have to talk like somebody from around that area, because you don't want to get what we call down here the Yankee price. Because if you're city, you sound like you city, you look like you city, you got city money. They're going to get city money. But if you got cousin money, right, not kissing cousin money, we're not in one of them states, but you got that money, that poor money, that chicken scratch money, right? You go down there and you say, hey, Bubba, what you give on this? And they're more likely to say, oh, I don't know. What you want to give me? And I'll say something like, well, I ain't come to buy it and sell it. I came to buy it, so you got to sell it. Give me a price. And they'll give me a price, and up there, and I'm say, well, I just didn't see myself paying that much for that. I mean, I like it, but I don't like it that much. I can't get $10 out of that. $10 of fun out of that. It's going to be a wall hanger, or I'm letting the kids play with them. You look at Matchbox cars, my God. No, I just wanted something for the grandkids to play with. They're going to scratch it up. That thing would have to be put up on a wall somewhere, and I ain't got no wall space because all my Earnhardt plates are up there. I don't see that, but I could. And then they'll say something like, well, all right, it's not $10. How about we go $5? And I'm like, well, I'm sitting at you know, I was going $2. And he goes, well, no, I can't go $2. And I said, well, you're at 5, I'm at 2. Make me feel like I won. Let's meet in the middle at 4, because 3.5 would mess it up. And they'll usually say yes, so I worked them down from 10 to 4. And I walk away feeling like I won, and I'll buy some of the most crazy stuff. I've got some of the biggest clamps you've ever seen in your life. I got whatnots and doomajiggies, things I ain't got no clue what they are. I've got dozens. My rule is if you can buy one, you should buy 10. Right? If I can bundle and buy a bunch, I will, and I do that a lot. But yesterday, my winnings, and the first lady, she says, don't knock that man down his price no more. I think it's pretty cool. You want it, let's get it. And it was this old saw in a saw box for cutting miters and corners and stuff. And this thing was nice. It was old. It was well loved, but you could tell it was everything was brass, old flathead screws. The wood was multi-woods, different color woods. Really, really was cool. Had a mechanical edge to it. The saw was there. Everything was there. It was complete. And it's just going to sit on my shelf. It'll actually be in the video somewhere because I love that. I really like that thing. That thing is neat. I want to make a cheese board out of it, for God's sakes, and just cut the cheese. Of course, I love cutting the cheese, especially in a crowd. Take from that what you will. But then I was walking around, I was looking at tools. I'm always looking for tools. I'm always looking for other sorts of whatnots and stuff. And this guy had big blocks. Well, it wasn't big blocks, about as big as a bar of ivory soap. Blocks of steel, $1 a piece. He had about, 10, 20 of them. They're pretty heavy. I looked over there because he had a lot of machinist tools. I looked over there and I picked up them blocks. And I kind of felt the heft of it, and I said, how much are these? He goes, $1 a piece. And in my mind, I'm sitting there going, well, I've got my forge, and I don't have block stock to do knives and to build stuff, because that stuff is crazy expensive, ridiculously expensive. Hardened steel stock is expensive. And so we started chit-chatting about it, and I was formulating up how I was going to talk him down from $22, $1 a piece to $5 in the box, right? But then I said, well, what kind of steel is it? Is it hard, is it carbon steel or whatever? He goes, no, it's low carbon. He goes, it's real easy to spin. It, which means turn on the mill, on the lathe. He said, but it's got no carbon in it. And he goes, but I got a stick of. And he rattled it off. I forget what it was. And he goes, that is some high carbon steel. He goes, I got a stick of it, and out in the truck. So now we're going to the truck. We're going to good stuff. He said, yeah, I got it in there, and I made a couple this and that. So he told me what he had made, and he goes, and I didn't even harden it. I didn't even heat treat it. And we use it all the time, and it's still sharp. You sharpen that thing, and it's good. That steel is tough. And I'm like, really? He goes, yeah. So he walks back to the truck, and I split between those concrete tables, which is that what we have at our flea market. I split between those concrete tables, and I go back into the forbidden zone. I'm now in the sellers area, and I went back there, and he pulls out a stick of the steel. It's about an inch across, inch and a quarter across. It's round. It's about 4 feet long, and it's shiny, almost like stainless shiny, almost, but it's not. High chrome, high carbon, and he hands it to me. And that thing's heavy like lead, which lets me know that thing's some solid steel. And I'm sitting here thinking, in my head because I've seen those online when I went to look to buy some steel. I've seen them online, and those can run between $50 and $200 for a stick that large and that size if you're getting into the right steel. I said, how much you want for it? He goes, $5. And I said, man, I'm not even gonna fight you. Here, take this money. And I walked out with my big old $5 stick and my saw in my hand, and we got a lot more walking to do because First Lady likes to see the dogs. She saw some bulldog Frenchies with fuzzy ears for $5,000 a piece. Thank God they weren't less because she would have wanted it. Cute dog, but we don't need another dang dog. But I'm walking around, my shoulders getting tired carrying these dang things. And First Lady's like, you want me to carry it? No, you can't carry that, woman. I carry it. She ended up picking up some vegetables because it's her birthday, some tomatoes and some cucumbers. And what else did we get? Something else. We got something else from there. And she got a little Thomas the Train for one of the grandkids. He loves Thomas the Train. So she talked him into $1 for a choo-choo train. And we had a great day. But that was not the whole day. This is the exciting thing because that was a great deal. I always walk away with great deals. I did. I won't even buy something if it's worth it. If there's something there that's worth $50 and they want $50, I ain't buying it. They got something there that's worth $50 and they want $40, I ain't buying it. No, I want flea market deals. If it's worth $50, I want to pay $5. I want a great deal. I want a phenomenal deal. And so I had some good deals, some solid deals, great deals. But I did not have the great deal. That came later. So I troll on Facebook Marketplace a lot. In my go-to on Facebook Marketplace, I'll tell you, if you don't need it, all right, don't need something on Facebook Marketplace and do this technique. But if you don't need it, you just want it. You see it on Facebook Marketplace, you hit that little heart button, that little like button or saved button or whatever that button is. You hit that thing and you leave it alone, you forget about it for a week. And then you go back after a week and you look at all the stuff you saved. And if it's still there and it's not sold, that means those people put that thing out there for a price, let's say $100. And when you reach out to them and say, hey, don't do the if that's still available. I'm interested in your, whatchamacallit. What do you give for it? What's your lowest price? What are you willing to let it go for? Because they've had it for a week. They didn't put on Marketplace to let it sit there because they wanted to win friends and influence people. They're tired of it being in the space, so they need the money. Or it's somebody else's and they just want to buy something else or something. There's a reason they want to move it, and it's not moving. So now their high lofty goals of I'm going to make a bunch of money off of it is now turned to I'm tired of tripping over this dang thing. Let me get it out of the house. And so they say, okay, it's $100. They say, okay, I'll take $50 or $75. Let's say they say I'll take $75. That's a pretty common experience. And then I'm going to come back with, well, I was thinking more like 25. And depending on how they respond, because they're not going to take 25. Very rarely would they take 25. Unless it's really weird and they just got to move it, or it's a big thing and they just got to get it out of their yard. But then you come back with right behind them, because they usually say no thank you or whatever. You come back around and say, I'll tell you what. You're at 75, I'm at 25. Let's split the difference and get it and just get her did at 50. I can come tomorrow. Be ready to pick it up the day you start talking. Don't say, well, I can come next Tuesday. Don't do that, because then what they're going to do is they're going to have done it to me before. If they quote you $50, they'll say, yeah, and then they're going to put it for $60 up on their site to see if they can make $10 more. I don't fault them for it. I don't hate them for it. They're trying to sell the thing. They don't know me. I'm not in their kin. I'm not their family. I mean, why are they going to make me a deal if they can make a deal somewhere else, right? A better deal. So they knock it at 60. Somebody buys it at 60. I did all the work. They got all the glory. No, I'm not doing that. So when you're ready to buy it, you're ready to buy it. So I'd been watching this tall humidor. Now, don't look if you're driving. But that big old drink of water right there, 7 feet tall, 6.5 feet tall wine cabinet. which I've turned into a humidor. It's very easy. Watch my video. It's extremely easy, and I tell you to look on Facebook Marketplace for it. Those things right there go between $2,000 and $3,000. If you buy it as a humidor, it goes for even more, believe it or not. But if you have a climate-controlled area, if you have it in your garage, you're going to be in trouble because it's going to be too hot and too cold, and your cigars are going to have problems. They're going to need climate control. But I'm in a studio, or it's in your house, and you got your air conditioner heater running, so you're not worried about climate control. You're just worried about humidity. You get you some Bovita packs, toss you some Bovita packs in there, and you're done, right? You get a multi-$1,000 humidor for hundreds of dollars, right? You don't have to spend money to have money. You just have to wait and be patient. And so I had seen this thing, and I was worried about it because when I tell you how much the price was, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh. And I looked it up on their website for this thing, Alavino or something like that. I looked it up on their website, and I couldn't find one that was as big as the one I got. The one that was a little bit smaller, this thing's 77 inches tall by 24 inches wide by like 27 or 30 inches deep. Thing's huge. It's as big as the one I got. It holds 180 bottles of wine. It's the wood flat shelves. The shelves, there's enough to hold, I forget how many. It's ridiculous how many cigar boxes it'll hold. It's going to take over this humidor. It's actually I'm going to take that humidor out and I'll put it on Marketplace, and I'll put the other one in there. Eventually, I'll get a shorter one that looks just like the other two, and I will have a wall of those nice fancy things. Man, I look like I spent 10 grand, right? I mean, shoot, I wouldn't spend. Well, you wait till I'll tell you how much I spent on this. So it was 11:30, 11:40. We're still rolling around, getting ready for Sarah's birthday. We got done with a flea market. I like to get there early, not too early, because it used to be get there at 7 o'clock, 6:45. Everybody be set up. Now people are lazy. They don't get there until 8 o'clock. So if you don't get there till 8:30, you ain't gonna get all the good deals because they ain't showed up yet. Dang lazy generation. So, the Stillwell Star is amazing, by the way. I just thought about that. Anyway, I'll tell you in a minute. So, I start reaching out to her. It was a lady. I said, hey, I see you humidor. Or you got your Wanador. And the ad said, does not work. Air conditioner, lights come on. The 2-zone air conditioner cooler doesn't work, which I don't want the cooler. You can't use the cooler because the humidors, the cigar humidor cooling system is different than the wine cooling system because they don't worry about humidity, so it actually cycles the air in and cycles the air out, and you don't want that because your humidity goes out with it, even if you don't have it running. So you can't use that system. The ones that are true humidors are a closed system. It's a different kind of system. You don't lose your humidity. So I want it not to work. Usually I get one the size of a college refrigerator if I'm looking. College refrigerator one, I'll probably spend, I don't know, $50, $70. And it's a $700, $800 setup, right? You get the smaller ones, you start getting in the $20, $30, and it's usually $200. They got lots of them. All these soccer moms had these wine things, and they don't want them no more. They got rid of them because now they're doing yogurt or paleo or whatever, and they ain't got time, or their Peloton bike needs a spot or whatever. I don't know. And so these things just disappear. I mean, they're for sale all over the place, like the stuff that you see at the flea market by here as seen on TV. They're everywhere, right? And so you just wait, you'll find it. And this was the one that I waited for. I got a good one here. So I messaged her and come to find out that they do this pretty much for a living because she has hundreds of posts on Marketplace. And she said, well, I just left. Let me see if my husband's still there. And he wasn't. And I said, All right, can you? Because it says no holds. I said, can you hold it till Tuesday? I'm off Tuesday. I'll come and get it. And they said, we can't hold it. And I knew that price is crazy. Somebody just ain't seen it yet. Somebody's going to buy it out from under me. And so I never prepay for anything. Ever. Number one, they have no desire to give it to me now. They got everything I got to give to them. So they're not in a hurry. And then they get busy or they're selling something else and they got time for me. Or I get there and it's damage that I didn't see in the picture, and then I can't say, no, I ain't buying and get my money back because they already got my money. It's a mess. But this was such a deal, I was willing to take a chance that I may lose that money. Now, I have drug you on long enough. Be prepared to be amazed. When I tell you, and I didn't even knock him a price. I didn't even cut the price at all. That's how good a price it was. Over $2,000+ for this thing. I saw a couple for $2,700. Same-ish size. Different manufacturer. That would work. I mean, right now it's nothing but a box, unless you have cigars or you want to put it in your bedroom and put your clothes in it. I mean, it's just a shelf, right? No air conditioning. It doesn't work, but it has use. Paid $35 for that thing. That's right. You heard me. Not $135. No. $35. The cost of 3 Stillwell stars. 3. And I got a place to put, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 shelves. So it's 18 shelves times I can get 4 boxes in on average box. So that's 18 times 4, that's 80, that's 72 boxes of cigars, 72 boxes of 20 cigars, that's 720, that's 1440. That's 1440 cigar storage for $35. And I would go spend $50, $100 and buy 2 bricks of 60 gram, the big bags of 68 Bovita. Each brick comes with 10 Bovitas. I'll buy 20 Bovitas. They're $50 for a brick, pretty much. I'll buy 10 Bovitas. I will stick 10. I'll buy 20 Bovitas. I'll stick 10 Bovitas in there. I'll float them around in different spots, and that'll tell me where my humidity's moving. And I'll keep the other 10 out. Still in their containers. When the first Bovitas get dry, I will take and recharge those Bovitas. You want to know how to do that safely? You can watch my video on. I bought this humidor for $50 or something like that. And I'll recharge them. I'll put the second set of 10 in there to keep the humidity going. And I would just rotate those over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So for $135, I've got a state-of-the-art, top-of-the-line, gorgeous, ready-to-go humidor for 1,400+ cigars. Bubba, I'm telling you, that's the way to go. I can't say it enough that Facebook Marketplace can elevate your cigar lifestyle. Now I'm telling you, this humidor I got over here, the wooden one, I bought it from a vape shop off Marketplace. And it's $2,000 list. And it's got two humidification systems, Cigar Oasis humidification systems. They both work. It's got little fans in there that blow things around. It's got all this and that and the other. It's got little gauges that tell me temperatures or tell me humidity. But it's work. This one, I have to keep the water going on it. I have to make sure the beads are full. It has pockets of humidity. I have to rotate cigars sometimes. It's just work. It is. It's nice. It's elegant. It's pretty. I mean, it is. I mean, it's full. But all of the cigars in there are going to be able to fit in the other humidor. And so I'll be able to move that one out. And I will sell that for, I'm going to tell you what right now, don't you dare message me thinking I'm going to sell it to you for $35. No, sir. No, sir. I paid $500, $400, I think, for that when I bought it a couple, 3 years ago now from a vape shop. And I will probably sell it for that much now. Or that's what I'll ask. And someone will say, hey, I'll give you $400. And I'll be like, no. And they say, well, let's split the difference at $450. Make me feel like I won. And I'll be like, yeah, you're good as I am. Hey, yeah, sure, come get it. Come get it. I done got my use out of it. You come enjoy it. And it'll be gone. And so I will have the hardest part is when I go pick it up Tuesday. I pick it up by myself, just like I did with this first one. And then I've got a hill in my backyard. And it's not, my backyard is not concreted, so using a dolly on that thing is huge. And it is heavy. It is heavier than God knows. And pulling it up there, and it was a couple times where I was like, oh, I thought I was going to flip it off down the hill. Because the ground's kind of uneven, and it give way a little bit. And then I got to figure out how to walk it up the studio up onto, because the shop is 18, 20 inches off the ground. So I got to get up those steps because I got to walk that up there. And then I got to get it inside the door. It's actually taller than the door. So I have to lay it corner, drop it down a little bit, drag it through. I mean, it's a mess. But luckily, a lifetime ago, I used to move furniture. So I remember it. My body doesn't appreciate it, but heck, I could do that and then go pay myself to get a massage at the little Chinese massage place, little Happy Feet, and still make out like a bandit. But I won't do that. I probably won't do that at all. But I will get that thing in here, and then Chief will come in on Thursday, and he'll go, what the heck? I said, oh, didn't I tell you? And then he will say, and I don't blame him at all, it will be tongue-in-cheek, he will be funny about it, but he will be like, it's kind of funny that whenever I want to buy a lens or anything from my camera or a dongle, I have to check with you, and then I have to do all my research and go to 4 or 5 different companies, and then I have to present to you all my findings, and then we have to talk about it, and then you say whether I can do it or not. But you can go and just buy whatever you want to buy. And I'll lure him in and say, well, son, yeah, well, okay, but you look, it held all these cigars from the other humidor, and I was thinking we could sell this humidor and get some of our money back. And he's like, you've been telling me that we really need to save money this year because last year we were struggling a little bit at the end of the year, and you wanted to have more of a cushion. Well, it's freaking April, Dad, and we've got no cushion because you're spending it on stuff we don't need. And then I'll start working him into asking me, so how much was it? And then I'll say, oh, no, you're going to be mad because I spent money that we didn't talk about, and I know it wasn't budgeted. We didn't plan on budgeting this, and I just really wanted it. I really didn't worry about what it cost. I really needed, well, what did it cost? Okay, blah, 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 blah. And I'll say, well, I just spent $100 on Bovita packs. I will set this thing up. Spent $100 on Bovita packs, and, total with Bovita packs, all right? Remember that. Bovita packs, $100 worth of Bovita packs. Probably $3 in gas. So it's $103. Maybe $5 in gas. Well, $3 in gas, I bought a Diet Pepsi. So that's $105. All together, carry the $140. I paid $35 for it. And then he'll be like, you did all that when you spent $35? Yeah. Pretty good, huh? Then he'll be happy about it. And then I'll say, well, I want this space. And he'll take his spot for his cigars. and then we'll load up the cigars. So it is time to go. I just want to share with you. Go to the flea markets, get with the people you love, and have a great time. Watch Marketplace, upgrade. If you get an upgrade like this, reach out to me, let me know. I would love in a comment that you're making the same deals I'm making. I'd love to know you're making better deals. I will. And we're out of time. God knows I love you. I do. This thing went by fast, and I'll see you later. Episode 14's in the books. 15's on its way. Later, Tater. Drive safe.